What's up, guys? It's Benny. Some of the people in the Nothing Ever Happens contingency always use this clip to attack President Trump and say that President Trump was potentially lying here when he says that we've caught Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, and the deep state in rigging the election against me, that we've caught you all. We have the tapes. We have it on tape. Listen
Crooked Hillary Clinton, if you look at all of the different people, there was no transition because they came after me trying to do a coup. They came after me spying on my campaign. They started from the day I won and even before I won, from the day I came down the escalator with our first lady. They were a disaster. They were a disgrace to our country. And we've caught them. We've caught them all. We've got it all on tape. We've caught them all. And by the way, you gave the idea for the Logan Act against General Flynn. You better take a look at that because we caught you in a sense. And President Obama was sitting in the office. He knew about it too.
So this is Donald Trump saying in the year 2020 that he has all of the evidence of a grand conspiracy to steal the election from him. The election was eventually stolen. I could think you could argue that his first administration was stolen, and that all of the evidence not only exists, but he knows where it is. Well, why haven't we seen it, right? This is what many people have asked for years, President Trump, with sort of the patience of Job here, as the Justice Department slowly but surely leaks out, drip by drip, what happened to Donald Trump. Now Kash Patel saying that all of the contents of the FBI Russia burn bags will be made public. Ooh, boy, a brand new interview from Kash Patel. But let's skip back just a few short weeks ago to the first batch of burn bag contents that were revealed from the FBI. Burn bag, obviously, exactly what it's intended to be. You put stuff in the burn bag to destroy it so that nobody ever sees the light of day. 5 burn bags were uncovered, records from the Mar-a-Lago search, Capitol breach, Crossfire Hurricane, all of the nasty stuff, all of the rigging, election rigging stuff that they ran against Trump. Classified appendix, the John Durham special counsel, original CIA referral of FBI Director James Comey, counterintelligence operation lead, original CIA referral. Goodness gracious. This was like everything. It was the treasure trove, all stashed away. FBI preliminary investigations opened up into potential violations, concealment, removal, mutilation of government records and evidence. Appears to be a hasty and chaotic effort by certain employees to collect senior management officials' records in advance of the anticipated transition. New team of the FBI executives taking control after the presidential inauguration. And so here's a photo of these records. And what you can see here is that they were kind of waiting, hoping that they get another Bill Barr, right? That they get another Chris Wray. But then when they got Kash Patel, they panicked and they shoved everything into a burn bag. And now Kash Patel is saying that we are going to get those contents out, all of them, out to the public in a brand new interview. And this is sending panic signals throughout Washington, D.C. Here we go.
Thing about the burn bags really quickly. This room 9582, how is it that people didn't know it existed, or how was it found? Can you give us any sense of this at all?
I'll just say this generally. When the United States government and agency heads want things to disappear and want things to be buried and hidden, they know how to do it. But what they didn't count on was President Trump winning, him electing leadership across the United States government to say, go find out how they corrupted and weaponized law enforcement. And that's what we did. That's what we're doing. That's how we found it. And we're going to continue to expose it. And you're going to see everything we found in that room in one way or another, be it through investigation, public trial, or disclosure to the Congress.
So we appreciate this clip from the Epic Times, and more importantly, Kash Patel explaining what's inside of those bags. What you are going to see is accountability, the single largest weaponization of government in American history. Listen to this.
Now what's dubbed, well, first it was dubbed Spygate. Now I believe Russiagate is the term. I know you've spoken about what you can talk about, what you can't talk about, but can you give us some indication of is there any progress or any resolution going to be seen in this, around this issue, which has been ongoing for, I guess, almost a decade?
Absolutely. You're going to see it. And again, it's one of those things that as we've been talking about, we're working with our congressional partners to give them what we can give them. The reason the American public knows about the corruption and scandal and unlawful activities during Russiagate is because of the work I started at House Intel. And we've seen now the introduction through the James Comey case about the burn bags and everything else. We've also seen, thanks to the FBI's disclosure to Congress, the thing known as Arctic frost and the surveillance of senators and members of the House of Representatives and other law enforcement officials and government officials, to include myself. It's been made public that those investigations are ongoing. So that's where I have to leave it. But we are not done with either of those things. We are going to have full accountability, and we are going to have full transparency for the American public. It is the single largest weaponization, politicization of law enforcement against America, and specifically targeting a political party because the institutional elite in Washington, D.C. didn't like them and didn't want them to win. President Trump was the number one victim, and the rest of us were just as equally victimized. And the American public deserves to have not only accountability, but reform to make sure that never happens again.
It sounds like you're including Arctic frost revelations in this, what you're discussing here. Is that right?
Well, we've made that public to Congress. We've said this is ongoing, so we can say that here.
Many people also criticizing the throwing out of the James Comey prosecution. We'll see where that goes. Many people are very upset at that. Kash Patel saying that was just the appetizer prosecution. Get ready for more. We're not done with Comey yet. Stay tuned. Yikes. Here we go.
A criminal case against Director Comey was recently dismissed. What is your reaction to that?
Well, because it's pending in terms of appellate status and what we are going to do for the next steps, the judicial process can make whatever determination it wants, but we, the FBI, and our partners at the DOJ have numerous options to proceed, and we're executing on all those options. So we're not done.
Any detail available?
I would say stay tuned for right after Thanksgiving, and you'll see multiple responses, in my opinion.
Ladies and gentlemen, the internet obviously reacting pretty strongly to all of this and saying that this is one of the strongest, most demonstrable interviews that Kash has ever given. You're going to want to see everything we found in that room. There's through an investigation, public trial, or disclosure of Congress. Very good. This is what the American people need. They need accountability. And more importantly, they need to see exactly how this all operated. I mean, again, President Trump 5 years ago saying on stage, "We have you dead to rights. We have the recordings. We know what you did." There we go. FBI's secret vault of Russia hoax documents about to be open. Swamp panics. This is huge. You're going to see all of it. Expose it all. This is the right stature. This is the right positioning for the FBI. This is all going to be made public. This is a huge win. FBI Director Patel says the contents of the FBI burn bags will be all made public. Do this with everything. Do this with Thomas Crooks. Do this with Charlie Kirk's assassin. Do this with Epstein files, JFK, and so on and so on. What they didn't count on was President Trump winning. That's exactly right. Again, this is the second time. Yeah. Documents stuffed into burn bags at FBI headquarters will be made public. Now we got to go after the people who stuffed them in the bags. And that's what Greg Jarrett talks about here in this Fox clip about how you can charge the people who were doing this. And that would really make it stick. Here you go, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Sunday.
Could be somebody who didn't want to be the party to a crime by burning them, because attempting to destroy or conceal evidence is the crime of obstruction of justice, Sean, if it's done to hide documents relevant to a criminal or congressional investigation or in anticipation of one. So these documents are not just relevant, they may be pivotal. So that's point number one on obstruction. Point number two is Senator Charles Grassley has been investigating the collusion hoax and those behind it for years, which is why these burn bag documents were turned over to him. So the question becomes, who ordered the planned burning? Why did they do it? Although the why to me seems readily self-evident. Whoever was involved was trying to conceal evidence that they didn't like, things that might implicate them. And it doesn't matter if the material was classified. You still cannot destroy it if it relates to an investigation. Go ahead.
One of the documents FBI officials allegedly found in the burn bag were the classified annex, to former special counsel John Durham's final report, which includes the underlying intelligence that he reviewed. Why would that be so critical? To me, that's critical.
Because it likely reveals many of the government actors who instigated and corruptly spread the phony collusion narrative despite knowing it was totally untrue. So, it's the usual suspects. Was it Comey and his acolytes at the FBI, Brennan's team of CIA partisans? Was it Clapper, the Obama White House? They're all reasonable suspects based on the damning evidence revealed in just the last couple of weeks, leading to an official criminal investigation. And, in my two books, I identified all the people who appear to have lied under oath, committed crimes. So it doesn't surprise me that incriminating evidence of lies and lying people was slated for the incinerator. There was never a Trump-Russia collusion conspiracy, but there was a conspiracy to frame Donald Trump for collusion.